On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Tony finds out if the Switch can run Crysis, and Ethan tries out the reverse horror genre. We talk about the week's biggest news and answer your questions. Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I am your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
And joining me this week, we have Tony.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Not much. I'm just talking to Tony. What are you doing, Tony?
I'm just talking to Ethan.
That's cool.
Yeah. Haven't talked to him much.
Yeah, he's kind of quiet.
Yeah, so it's good to get a chance to hear his voice. What else did we do? I bought some stuff today.
You did.
I bought a copy of Paper Mario, the Origami King.
As one does, yes.
Because I can't let a Paper Mario game go without playing it, even if they're not good Paper Mario games. But this one, I have at least some hope for. I think we'll talk about it next week, because you've also started playing it.
Indeed, I have.
I bought a couple controllers today, too.
You also bought something else, I think.
What else? I bought some books today.
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah. I just realized they're books.
Oh, yeah. Did you think I bought two Tom Clancy
I thought you bought two Tom Clancy video games.
Well, they are books based on Tom Clancy video games. So,
Tom Clancy's books written by Peter Tellep.
Yes. I would pronounce it Teleb. Yeah, I bought the Splinter Cell Aftermath book, which takes place Splinter Cell Blacklist Aftermath, which takes place after the game.
Good to know.
So I'm very interested in reading that one because I liked Splinter Cell Blacklist. And then I also bought the third of the Tom Clancy End War novels, which are based off of the RTS games.
That's after the Avengers do the thing with the Infinity Stones, you know.
Yeah, because you didn't realize that, Captain America was a Tom Clancy property, did you?
So End War takes place after Civil War, but before Endgame. But Endgame has to happen before Civil War, so it's a time paradox.
I'm so confused. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Tom Clancy novels in general, and then I picked up the first End War novel years and years ago and read it. I think I'm actually missing the second one, so I need to find that one before I actually read this third one. So, yeah,
that's a goal to set.
It is. I love those books, so I will find that. I will read those. And then, like I said, I bought a couple controllers today, too, because my Switch is in desperate need of controllers, first of all.
You go through a lot of them.
A lot of the third-party controllers I've bought have run into issues with the sticks. I don't know what the deal is with them.
It's always the sticks. Even like Mad Cat controllers during the PS2 era, it's just... Yeah. They're a dime a dozen, and they worked for about maybe a day to a week.
Yeah. The sticks on all those, there were all those $20 controllers that I picked up a couple years ago. And so today I picked up a couple of wireless controllers. One of them is a Pokemon themed controller. It looks like a Pokeball. Not the Pokeball controller. The
Right.
Thanks.
Whoa.
Sorry. I just dropped the controller.
He just threw it at a Pokemon and broke it.
So no, the controller just is themed like a Pokeball, and then another one is just a generic third-party controller. It's $30. I looked at it; has really good reviews. A lot of people have recommended it. It's actually on its way here from Amazon. It'll be here tomorrow. So, getting some new controllers, and I wanted wireless controllers this time because we're tired of having wires all over the place.
Can understand that.
So, but what's been going on with you?
Well, right now I'm telling Jason to open his Pokemon Go gift that I sent him earlier.
There.
Okay,
Probably a good idea.
now he's been told. So he'll have to send one back to me, and then I can send one back to him.
So
That's the way
here
it
is,
works.
you'll be able to see it. The controller that I picked up today.
Ooh,
It's red and blue themed. It looks like sort of the colors of the Joy-Cons, but it is a pro controller.
that's actually really decent looking. I like it.
Yeah, it's $30 on Amazon. You may have to put the picture in the
I
podcast.
like color wise. I'm not a huge fan of the conflicting two colors like that. Like
Yeah.
if those were just like a light gray color or something, I'd be all over that. But or like if they were both the same color on both sides. But that's a decent looking controller. Don't know how it
It's
handles, but
it's wireless USB charging. It's supposed to last 15 hours, is what I'm hearing. So
not bad. Not bad at
it's
all.
not a bad controller. It's got motion. It's got rumble. The only thing it doesn't have is amiibo support.
I imagine that's a Nintendo issue with that one.
Probably. So, well, enough about what I've bought. It was a very video game heavy purchase day for me today. I didn't even think about the books. I sent you guys a picture of it earlier today. So
Yep. That's why I knew you bought books. I was like, oh, he's going to talk about the books that I thought were video games.
they were books. So what have you been playing this week?
Stop me if you've heard of this. Carrion? I don't know how to pronounce it.
I have not heard of this. I think it's pronounced Carrion.
Carrion? Okay, so Devolver Digital released this game earlier in the week. This is the game that you play as a bioorganism that escapes from containment in a kind of like military scientist facility thing going on there. I'm not really sure what the deal is.
Okay.
And after watching all the trailers and stuff for this, I was really excited. I was like, oh man, this will be fun. A stealthy kind of, or a game with the option to either be stealthy or to, be a just full on horror creature. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, cool. I can stalk from the vents, break out, eat the people, and then scare others by doing various things around and sneaking around. I was looking forward to that part of it, but being able to just go blasting into play, breaking down barriers and just grabbing everything in sight and eating it. It's like that's also an option when I get frustrated, so that's gonna be great. And then I actually got to play the game.
Is it not as good as it sounded?
It the stealth option on there that I was really expecting to be better is not. It's not even up far enough to be considered a stealth game, I guess, in my opinion.
Okay.
You can kind of like go up into like a vent above some people and make them lure to one side, but then it's like, okay, well, I need to kind of time this. And it's like when you're going against guys that have like the guns and the electric shield things, it just, uh, it's just really frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just bad at the game, but I do like some of the stuff it's doing on there because after playing it for a while, it's like, okay, I can't play it the way I wanted to. I'll play it the way I need to now,
Yeah.
and it's really kind of a more of a puzzle game that more than anything else.
Okay.
And you kind of gain new abilities as you explore this facility, taking over various areas of it, little at a time. And you'll come across other containers. You go and you break your way into them, and then I guess you grow larger and get more abilities or something through
Okay.
evolution. So, like early on, one of I think the first ability I got was a web shooter. So I shoot out a tentacle and it instead be like sticky web stuff. So I'll pin people to walls and such like that, or I can hit levers that are further away. But then I end up getting larger, like double size, and that ability is replaced with a different ability, where instead of the web shooter, I get oh gosh, I've already forgotten what it is. Oh man,
I do
yeah,
not know.
that is an annoying thing to forget. But anyway, I I really want to look it up, but I don't want to get spoiled on the stuff I haven't seen yet either.
Yeah. Are you going to finish the game? Because I know you haven't really been enjoying it as much as you wanted.
I I plan to finish it. I don't know how long it'll take me. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a long game. I'm trying to find the thing. I know you get like echolocation. I know eventually I'll get the ability to like send out a tentacle and take over a person and like send them through things to unlock doors for me.
Okay.
So I know that's going to be kind of a cool thing. I'm just kind of giving a. Oh, okay. So instead of the spider web, I ended up getting a thing that lets me charge up energy and then I just bash into a wall. So in other words, I can break through barriers.
Nice.
I don't know why that was so hard for me to remember, but I mean, kind of think about it, it probably should be like a basic ability to just ram into something. So, so that overwrites one thing, and then I have to go and find like a puddle or something to go and split myself into two with, and then I can go get my old ability back like that. Because I'm no longer the double size, I'm back to the original size. Uh, so I don't have too much I can talk about on the game because I mean, it's really just everything I said it is. It's you go around taking over the military facility, trying not to get killed, and eating people to regain health. And your health is relevant to your size. So
Yeah.
you start out uh, as a one hit thing. So like you'll get hit, you're dead. So a lot of the people you run into won't have weapons early on. So you eat those. You eat about 4 to 5 people in like fully eat them because it usually you end up eating one half of them and then you can have to hunt down the other half wherever it landed. So you end up eating enough people, you grow to 5 times your size, and then you start multiplying your abilities and getting the higher ones. You can probably be like probably 3 times, maybe 4 times your size at some point. I'm assuming because I'm already double in size and I have to split so I can go back down to 5 and can lower from there. So it's kind of crazy that way. And there's also some things where I get to go and infiltrate computers, and I get to control a human from like a past memory what their investigation is. So that's kind of neat, I guess.
It
And
sounds. It's one of those games that it sounds like it would be interesting, but if it's as frustrating, also as you're saying that it is, I'm not sure it would be one I want to put a ton of time into.
it's frustrating in the sense that it's not the game the way I thought it was gonna be. But other than that, it plays, it runs, it. I'm sure people really do enjoy it, and I do want to see it to the end. It's just I don't have it as my primary focus. But I mean, I don't know. If I get further in, I'll probably end up liking it more than what I currently do. But I had to give it some time, you know.
Okay, yeah, I saw that it came to Game Pass on the PC this week as well, so
Yeah,
maybe I'll download it and give it a shot.
yeah. That's where I ended up actually getting it to try. I was actually ready to download it on the Xbox because I knew it was going to be on that. And then I saw the PC side of Game Pass said it was there. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I hit the download button on my phone, went to the PC so I could go and verify that it's downloading because I needed to fix some issues with the Game Pass thing.
Hmm.
And I'm clicking around like, okay, it's not downloading. What's going on? I'm looking at my phone. Well, the game was actually downloading. It was just such a small file that the program couldn't update that it was installed already
Yeah, the
in
game had
time.
installed faster.
Yeah, it was like it's installed. It's just nothing's updating to tell me it's already done.
Yeah,
So yeah, that was kind of a fun. That was probably that was fun. We'll go with that.
yeah. I went to download. I think it was Gears of War this week or last week. And I opened up the Game Pass app and went to download it on the PC. And it was like, do you want to download it on your regular PC or Shadow? I was like, interesting. I didn't know it would give me that option.
Yeah,
So
wherever you have that installed, it recognizes the area and it will give you the option.
yeah, I didn't
Really
know if it
neat.
would do Shadow though. And
It's actually really neat when it actually works. When it doesn't work, and you get home and you're like, "Why is this not installed?"
yeah, if you start the download at the beginning of the day and you get home, you're like, yes, I can get home, I can play a little Gears of War, and then you have to wait for it to download because it didn't actually work.
That's how it gets you.
So yeah, that's a little. I've never had that issue with the Switch. It seems like the Switch always works, but the Xbox has been about 75% reliable with remote downloads.
PlayStation's been about 50-50 for me. It's been a lot better since I figured out that there was a queue log in there that was backed up full of games that I had to go and download manually and all that
Yeah,
stuff. So after clearing that out, it's worked probably almost every time now.
nice.
So yeah, carry on pixel reverse kind of horror genre thing with puzzle elements. There you go. Uh, watch some gameplay footage of that first, like from YouTube or something. Not the trailer stuff, just to see if you like it. Because if it doesn't look fun, then
Then
it might not be for you.
all right.
Mm-hmm.
So is that it?
That's it for me.
All right. Well, this week I found out the Switch actually can run Crysis.
Does it run it better than what was originally shown by
Uh,
mistake?
I don't know. I didn't see any of that early. Are you talking about early Switch footage, right?
Yeah. The original leak, and then they were like, "Yeah, we need to delay this game a little bit."
Yeah, so I don't remember what it was like when it was originally shown off.
Apparently, it was worse than the original game on PC.
Well, it is definitely better than that if that is the case,
One would hope.
because it runs really nicely. This is the remastered version of Crysis that is out for the Switch. It's also coming later to the PS4 and the Xbox One. Um, but Switch is getting it first, and it runs really well. It obviously is not even running as good as the PC version from 2007, because they future proofed the heck out of Crysis when it launched.
They figured out how to do proper culling of environments and make the explosions look just as good, if not better, but less taxing on systems.
Mm-hmm. And so all of that stuff is still there. The destructible environments are still there. Uh, you can shoot a tree and the tree will fall on people. As you're moving through the grass, the blades of grass are moving. The depth of field is pretty good as well. It's got a really good draw distance on it as well. Technically, this game is running really nicely, and it's actually running better than the previous console versions of the game on the PS3 and the 360.
Good, really good.
They have done some really good stuff. I don't remember what they call it. I watched a developer video about the game this week. Um, their like lighting engine and how it works, because it's got some really nice lighting in this game, whereas previously everything looked bright. You could see the detail of everything, like especially if you were like in buildings, and that's one of the things that they showed off was the way the light bounces around on the Switch version in buildings is better than anything they had done previously.
Mm-mm.
It's not like ray tracing. You're not getting ray tracing effects or anything like that, but they're trying to mimic that in some ways. And so you can see where in like the PlayStation 3 and the 360 version of the game, the entire room was just bright. You could see everything. And in the Switch version, they've got shadows working. They've got light bouncing in a somewhat realistic way. I wish I knew what they called it because it's a weird word. But I don't remember. So The lighting effects are really good. The shadows are really good. This is a really good version of this game.
It's good to
And
know, really, because I mean, just getting that thing to run back in the day on PC at maximum settings was like a goal that everyone had, and that lasted for a good number of years. For still, maybe even to this day, some people still try to get that.
I mean, resolution wise, it's running at, I think they said 720p in docked and 560 something um, in portable. But even that's variable, so it can go up a little bit, it can go down a little bit. Um, it's running at 30 frames a second and it's solid. I haven't seen any real frame rate dips in the game. You can pick up anything and everything in the game and throw it at bad guys. I picked up a chicken and threw it at one time. You can pick up chairs, barrels, anything you can think of, anything you can see in the game. You can pick it up, or it will be destroyed if you shoot it, including the chickens. You can kill the chickens in the game.
Link has words to say, I'm sure.
The chickens won't attack you if they're all dead.
Exactly.
So it's really, really good game. I mean, character models are a little they're not so great, but they're not like awful. They're definitely 360 PS3 era character models. One thing I didn't know, because I have never played Crysis before, I didn't know anything about it. I thought it was just like a Tom Clancy style, you know, slightly futuristic tech type thing with just you fighting the North Koreans. And about an hour into the game, you realize there are also some aliens involved. And I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen from there.
I'm trying to
So
remember what not platform. Oh yeah, what platform I actually own this game on. I'm trying to find out.
I've actually been thinking about going back and trying to find, and not trying to find, but get the PC version and see how it runs. And I've seen side by side comparisons, and the PC version is just head and shoulders visually in terms of resolution and textures, well above the Switch version of the game. But I've played this in both handheld and docked, and it runs really nicely. It looks really nice. It's got gyro aiming, so if you want to use gyro aiming, you can do that. First thing I did was turned it off because I'm not a big fan of gyro aiming
And everything was
on
better.
the Switch. It's just better for me to not use it. I don't like gyro aiming. I turned it off in Splatoon, which everybody says it's the best way to play Splatoon, but I don't care that much. I don't like tilting the controller around while I'm trying to shoot. I can't think in both motion and having to aim with the sticks at the same time, and it's not for me. Give me a mouse and a keyboard or a controller, but don't try to mix the two together.
Well said.
So, but yeah, I can confirm Crysis runs on the Switch, and it runs really nicely on the Switch. I'm looking forward to playing through this game and seeing what Crysis was all about, because this is a brand new experience for me. I'm playing it for the first time. And so far, a couple hours in, I am really, really enjoying it. One of the other things I thought was really nice, it's just a neat little visual effect, is water splashes when you shoot into the water. It's a small little thing. Some games just make a little tiny thing. This looked like a real water splash from a bullet going into the water.
So it had ripples and everything?
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's not like, you know how a lot of times if you shoot like a wall or something and it puts a texture of a bullet hole on there or something like that. This looked like an actual, not just a texture of water splashing in the general area of where the bullet was. This looked like that's where the bullet went. And if you're firing multiple shots, you're seeing the water, as you strafe across the water, you're seeing all of the different splashes come up where it looks like they should come up. I don't know if that's really the case, but it was a good enough visual to convince me that it was happening real time and it looked really nice. So
I could not figure out where I bought the game, but apparently I don't own the PC version anymore.
well, if you have the GOG launcher, open that, and if all of your
It's
accounts are
not
linked,
in there.
okay.
That
That's
was
what
the that was the second thing I checked. I checked Steam first.
if I can't remember which launcher I'm supposed to use, I just go to GOG and launch it from there because it'll open
I
the right
even
one.
logged into Direct to Drive to check what I had in there.
Oh man.
Which it's entirely possible I got it on there and they just dropped it at some point because they say I only own 5 games. I know I own at least 10 to 15 games through them, but I know there was also the GameFly issue that happened, and I lost access to a lot of things, so maybe that was one of them. So that's that's the way the digital future kind of comes back to bite you there.
So if you're
surely I don't own it through Origin.
If you're interested in Crysis on the Switch, check it out. It's a really, really good game. The tech in the game is really nice. It's like near future. It supposedly takes place in 2020, so I don't know if they changed that date or if that is actually when it was taking place back in 2007, and they thought we would have
nano
suits that make you invisible. It's always interesting to go back and see what people thought we would have at different points in the future and how some of it is right, some of it is still way wrong.
I like that 60s view of what the future should have been.
So
you can't top that. That's just great.
Yeah. And I think Crysis is $30 on the Switch, so
it's not bad at all.
It's a pretty decent deal. It's digital only. There's no physical version, so you'll have to just download the game. But it's not even a big download. I don't think it's like 7 gigs. So
7 gigs. Good lord, that's a big file. I'm just kidding.
When we're downloading 100 gig Halo files, like it's nothing at this point. I think a 7 gig file is okay. So yeah, this has been a really good port of this game, and I am, like I said, I am looking forward to playing through this a little more and seeing what Crysis is all about. So that is really it for me, though. So let's take a quick break. We will come back. There were 2 different video game showcases this week for us to talk about. We will talk about both of them when we come back. All right. So, time for the news. But before we get to the 2 video game showcases that happened this week, another bit of surprise news happened, and that is the return of an old tech. I guess it's really tech more than just video games. Channel.
So I think it was Friday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was late Friday afternoon too.
It was like just Friday, like noon. Friday morning / Friday around noon. Twitter just came to life on 3 separate Twitter accounts that have been dead since 2012, I believe.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
And the reason I know one of them is 2012 is because that's the last time I got a direct message from one of the guys from there, because I had won a Diablo 3 beta key at the time. But 3 Twitter pages came to life. And the one that actually caught my eye was XPlay.
Okay. They haven't been around forever.
The next one that I also realized I knew was Attack of the Show.
Okay, I'm sensing a pattern.
And then the last one was the actual G4 Twitter page, which is what the company that owns Attack of the Show and XPlay.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least that's the channel they were both. I don't know how you go about the ownership on there, but it was brought to my attention from a tweet from Adam Sessler.
That's who I saw it from as well.
Former host of XPlay. And he I forget what he said, Tony. But
It was just like something about that was not a tweet I expected today or
that's what it
something
was.
like
He's
that.
like, it's not something I expected to see today or something like that. And then Morgan Webb chimes in later saying, I'm more surprised someone actually remembered the password. It's like, oh crud! So I know Adam Sessler. He said he's never coming back from various things. I don't know him. I know he said that he's never
Yeah.
coming back. And Morgan Webb works at like a video game
Yeah, she actually
company,
works for a video game company.
so I don't see her quitting that job to come back to this ever. I don't know how bitter the original GeForce sellout was on the before the dark days for them, but the internet's kind of really interested. There were videos for these three that I only saw the X Play one, and it was shown a warehouse, and you see the X Play stuff like part of a set or something, and then you see an old TV running Pong, and you can actually go to the G4 website, and it loads up a whole DOS looking screen thing, and then it'll ask you if you want to play the game, and you say yes, and you get to play Pong. And if you beat the PC on there 3 times in a row, you get to enter your email for something. And I actually did it all on the iPhone. It was uh, int- interesting. And they kind of cheat at Pong because you get it past that paddle, but it just reflects back anyway.
Yeah.
So no one knows what they're doing except for them. We don't know if they're coming back as like on TV, if they're coming back through like uh, just to be on a website, having like maybe weekly shows or something. No one knows. Like we don't even know if who's hosting these shows or anything or what's going on. So personally, I'm a little excited to see what's going to be, but I'm also going to be let down by what it's probably going to be as well.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, it that was a complete surprise, and there's no telling what it will be, when it will be, where it will be, but it looks like G4 is coming back.
And
So,
I could go and just talk G4 for like a couple of hours, but who cares about
yeah,
that? We got other things to talk about.
I if I remember correctly, the only thing I ever really watched on there was Ninja Warrior.
I watched a lot of X Play, some Attack of the Show, and a lot of Cinematech and their anime stuff, and they showed that late at night.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We will definitely keep people in the loop on that. But we started the week with a surprise game showcase, and then almost ended the week with another one. So one of them we knew about, and that was Microsoft, which happened on Thursday. But Sunday night, I think it was midnight Eastern, about 11 o'clock Central Time, Nintendo sent out a tweet that said, hey, guess what, guys? We're having a direct tomorrow. And
Yeah, it was late at night, and you're like sending that to everyone.
yeah.
It's like, dang it, Tony, I'm trying to sleep here.
Sorry, Nintendo has announcements, and I've got to get the word
We
out.
have work in the morning. Oh.
So do I. Um, so yeah, they announced that they were going to be doing a direct mini, and it was going to be focused on third-party development and publishing. And then through some other channels, we found out it would be about 10 minutes long, and I think altogether it was just over 8.
Nice.
So it was a really
that
it
is
was a
really
really
short.
short direct. Yeah. But and I think they packed in like 5 or 6 announcements. So the first one, and the one that actually was the most exciting to me, is that Cadence of Hyrule will be getting new DLC.
Keep in mind, Tony said this is the most exciting one to him.
This is the most exciting one to me.
Remember that. We'll come back
Yeah.
to this. We'll come back to this topic here in a minute.
Okay. So Cadence of Hyrule, not long after it came out, they gave everybody some free DLC with a new character and a little bit of new story. This new stuff, which the first pack is out now, They're breaking this up into 3 separate packs, and all 3 of these will be out before October. The first one is a character pack, which gives you 5 new characters. And those characters are Impa, Arya, who was a character in the original Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Oh yeah.
She was like if you're the best player in the world at Crypt of the Necrodancer, you'll be able to use her because she was one hit death and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
She plays the same way in this. She'll be able to take one hit before she dies. Shadow Link and Shadow Zelda. And then the most awesome of the characters to be playable now is Frederick, who is the shopkeeper. So you can now play as the shopkeeper, and I hope the whole time you play as him, you get the shopkeeper versions of every song. That's the way.
What happens if you go into the shop as him?
The music stops actually, and
Do you have to go behind the
Beetle.
counter, or do you have to?
No, Beetle shows up, and
Oh man,
Beetle is now the shopkeeper.
that better happen then.
Unfortunately, I don't think it will.
But if it did, that would be the way to go about it.
So that pack is available now, and you can pick up that for $6. The second pack, which will be out, is called the Melody Pack, and it will add 39 brand new songs to the soundtrack.
Wow.
So the already incredible soundtrack will get 39 songs better. And that will also be $6. And then the last bit of DLC will be $10, but it is called Symphony of the Mask, and it is brand new story content. And the playable character in that story content is Skull Kid.
Okay.
And the sort of gameplay hook with him is that he can equip different masks, and the different masks that he equip will do different things. So he has different abilities based on whatever mask he is wearing at the time.
Interesting.
So you can, in a very sort of un-Nintendo-like move, I think, you can buy any of these DLC packs separately because they generally like to do the bundle, or you can pick those up in a bundle for $15. And so it basically gives you one of the first 2 packs for free if you buy the DLC bundle. And then to go along with that, the game will be released physically on October 23rd and will include all of the DLC in the release. So you'll be able to pick that up, and I will have all of that before it's all said and done, because I love that game. All of this new content sounds fantastic. I will definitely be playing it. Second thing they showed off was a trailer for a game called Rogue Company, which is one I've been keeping an eye on a little bit. It is a new PvP team-based shooter that's being published by Hi-Rez, who are the publishers of Paladins, which is that game that I play basically like 4 or 5 times a week. It looks a lot like sort of a Counter-Strike Go or a Valorant, that sort of type of game.
Okay.
It is not Fortnite style. It's not a battle royale. There's 2 game modes. One is a casual sort of just team deathmatch type thing. The other is a mission where one team is trying to plant a bomb, the other team is trying to keep them from doing that.
So it's Counter-Strike.
Yeah, that's basically.
Okay.
And so
cool.
The round goes. I think there's a time limit, and the team that scores the most points, whether they stop the bomb or plant the bomb, ends up winning. So it has all kinds of free-to-play type mechanics, the skins and all of that stuff. The game you can download. Right now, you can only get it in the Founders Pack. It will be coming in the future for free as a free-to-play game, but right now you have to spend it's like $15 to get the Founders Pack, and that gives you a couple of extra characters and some in-game loot that you can use to customize those characters.
Cool.
They showed off a trailer for WWE 2K Battlegrounds, which is the only WWE game we're getting this year. They are not doing the simulation style. They are only doing this arcade style. You remember WWE All-Stars? That game?
That's hard to forget, Tony.
It's basically that. The super stylized, really over-the-top character designs. Like, I saw one, the Undertaker had thrown somebody up in the air and then jumped and was doing a spin with them coming down. It is wild. It looks... WWE All-Stars was a lot of fun, and this looks like it's that same, just insane...
Where you can tell they had fun designing the game to be fun.
Exactly.
That's great.
It's got a good mix of current WWE wrestlers and then a bunch of older ones. Like I saw Andre the Giant was one of the characters. I think Ultimate Warrior might be in there. I don't know the full roster. They just showed it was literally like a 1 minute long trailer for the game, just showing you that it was coming to the Switch. And then they ended the showcase with the announcement that Twitter was the most excited about.
Okay, so listeners, remember the thing I told you that Tony was excited about? All right, keep that in mind for this right here.
Okay. They ended it with the announcement that Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne would be getting a remastered version that will come to the Switch, and it will launch in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
And then they showed off Shin Megami Tensei 5 and gave it a 2021 release date as well.
Not one, but two SMT games.
Yes.
One that came out on PS2, the one that features Dante from Devil May Cry.
I don't know that Dante will be in this one.
Yeah, that's questionable on this one as well. But that was just called, I think it was just called SMT Nocturne. And we knew it was the third game, but I don't think it had it in the title originally.
I don't think it had the number in the title.
But then we skipped up to 4, so, it's fine. We know it's the third game.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people were excited. A lot of more people were... Well, a lot of people were excited. And then you had a handful of people, by a handful I mean a lot, that were upset that it wasn't Persona. But they can grow up and get over it.
I would love to get the Persona games on the Switch. I think it's a perfect fit for them. I've never played SMT3. The first game I played in the series was 4, and I think I've played Devil Summoner as well. I like the games. They're just not. Those were not the things that I was the most excited about.
I forgot. I have the Devil Summoner games and Digital Devil Saga.
We've known SMT5 is coming for a long time. They just reiterated that basically and let people know the game is still coming and it will be out in 2021. So
yeah, because we hadn't heard anything like a year on SMT5.
It's been at least a year.
It's like they showed like the shadow version of all the demons, and then it's like, yeah, it's happening, and then nothing. Now we have a look at a character and some other things. So
yeah, they showed off a pretty decent trailer for the game. It was like 2 or 3 minutes long, I think. So yeah, both SMT3 and SMT5 will be coming. SMT4 and the second release of Shin Megami Tensei 4 are both on the 3DS. I'm kind of surprised those didn't get like HD remasters as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Because 1 and 2 were what, Super Nintendo?
Yeah, I believe so.
And I know there was mobile releases that were fully English translated that were playable on iOS. So, which I wish I could re-download, but I can't anymore. Thank you, iPhone and whoever. You know what? I'm about to go on a tangent, so I'm just going to stop there.
So yes, and then once the little mini direct ended, Twitter was all abuzz with the announcements of the Shin Megami Tensei games. So that was sort of the this direct was worth it just for that announcement for a lot of people.
Exactly. That's why a lot of people are excited, but Sony's like, "No, I want that rhythm game instead."
Well, like I'm gonna play SMT5, but I know it's coming, and I'm not like super hyped over the release of those games. They're games I really like and I enjoy, but I'm not. It is not one of my favorite series. But like I loved Cadence of Hyrule. That was a fantastic game, and getting more content in that and a reason to go back to it with new stuff was just the thing that made me very excited. So, and then on Thursday, early Thursday morning, I think it was 9 o'clock here, Microsoft had their game showcase that they've been advertising for a few weeks now. It started at 9, but there was a pre-show that started at 8, and I turned on. So let me just say this: I turned on the pre-show because I was like, okay, I'll see what's going on. I watched just a few minutes of it. I was like, okay, this is just talking heads, and they're talking about the things they want to happen. I don't care to see this, and so
Exactly.
I turned it off,
As one does,
and
yes.
2 minutes later, Shannon is sending me a message saying, "Dude, you need to watch this," um, because literally right after I turned it off, they announced that Dragon Quest XI-S is coming to the Xbox. And
That's the one that came to Switch.
yes, that was previously. It has been Switch exclusive. It is coming to the Xbox and the PS4, and I think PC as well on December 4th. But Xbox users will get to play it for free on Game Pass.
Huzzah!
So this is the first Dragon Quest game to come to the Xbox, and if you're a Game Pass owner or subscriber, you get to play it for free. So
Wait, this is the first one?
this is the first one that's come to the Xbox, I believe.
Wow.
It has only been PlayStation and Nintendo previously.
I'm having to look this up.
I would not stake my life on it, but I'm pretty sure that is the case. I don't
Didn't
remember any other.
11, the normal version of 11, come to Xbox?
Maybe. I don't know. I would have to look that up
Oh,
and
no,
see.
except Xbox One, according to Reddit.
Oh, there you go.
And then 3. Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah. Previously, Dragon Quest XI was 3DS, PS4, and Windows, and then the definitive edition came to Switch. And it will be just a little bit over a year that game was exclusive to the Switch. And that's the one that you can play 3D or you can play the 2D version and switch back and forth at the beginning of chapters if you want. It's also got a bunch of retro content where you can go back and play things from every previous Dragon Quest game as well. So this one comes with the fully orchestrated soundtrack and all of that. And I think you can also play either the English or the Japanese voiceovers. So a few other announcements that happened during the pre-show. A new free-to-play shooter called Exomech is coming. I didn't watch the announcement for this, so I don't know what
Yeah,
this
I didn't
is.
see it either. So,
There's also a new turn-based adventure game called Echo Generation, which will be coming out next year, sometime in 2021. The announcement of Hello Neighbor 2. Why is my phone ringing at 11:30 at night from a suspected spam caller? So I have never played a Hello Neighbor game.
you'd probably have a little bit of fun with it, but it'd be really hard to figure out at first because there's a lot going on, and then I actually saw 8-Bit Ryan playing Hello Neighbor 2, that early alpha stuff right now,
Uh-huh.
and it's pretty chaotic right now too. So
Is it?
yeah, more so than the original game. Like you could kind of figure out what you were doing on that one, but it took a little bit of work to figure it out, and so this one's kind of going through the same process right now.
Isn't this technically the third release in the series? Because wasn't there one called Secret Neighbor?
Secret Neighbor is just the multiplayer thing where
Oh,
it's
okay.
like you're working towards a goal, and then it turns out one of the kids is actually the neighbor in disguise. But there is kind of another game out there. It's oh, what is it called? Hello. It's not Hello Neighbor. Hello.
I have no idea what you're. If there's another
Yeah,
title that I have never
yeah.
heard of it, because
You know what? I know where to get it, so keep talking.
okay. Um. So yeah, the Hello Neighbor 2 coming to the Xbox. They say Xbox Series X. They didn't mention Xbox One. I would imagine it will be coming. Um, I think anything coming in 2021 will probably be cross-gen. So
Should
if
be.
it's 2022, you might that's when you might be seeing the first Series X only console releases. They'll also be coming to PC. Um, but yeah, and then the pre-show ended with an announcement that I was not expecting in any way, and that is a new game from Yuji Naka, who is most famous for being the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog. And that game is called Balan Wonderworld, which looks so good. It is a 3D platformer, um, but it is very much in that bright, whimsical sort of tone. So,
Got the game.
okay, what is it?
Hello Guest.
Okay,
You're. It's basically just kind of like a test thing for Hello Neighbor 2, but uh, you're at a amusement park and you're seeing like a bunch of kids trying to destroy it, and you're trying to do your job to keep them from destroying the amusement park. And then you have the creepy person with the crow face mask thing on, which is the guy in Hello Neighbor 2 that's chasing you around. So yeah,
okay. So, all right. And then Balan Wonderworld looks like a lot of people that I saw on Twitter were talking about this giving them sort of a Knights vibe in the
eh,
not only the visual style but the way it plays as well.
it seems to
Um,
fit into that PS1 and Saturn era game style.
yeah. It very much looks like a sort of classic throwback to the early 3D platformers. Um, but it looks really good. And there's like a ton of different powers and costumes that you can get that based on what you're wearing, it looks like your abilities will change.
So it's
So
probably closer to like uh, Nemo Nightmare in Dreamland or something.
yeah, it could be. Um, but yeah, that's coming from Yuji Naka and his new studio called it's Balan something. And maybe just like Balan Company. Uh,
Maybe so.
and the game is being published by Square Enix because that's who he works for now. So that makes perfect sense. And then after that, we got the main show kicked off with what everyone expected. No surprise, just right out of the gate, they showed off Halo Infinite.
And the internet was actually disappointed.
The reaction to it was very sort of negative. I thought it was good. I thought it looked nice. I went back and saw some additional stuff that showed off like the 40K 60 frames a second because I don't think that's what they showed off during the stream. Um, so you got an 8-minute look at the gameplay of Halo Infinite. It looks like Halo. So
Yep.
um, I don't know entirely what people were expecting. I know a lot of people were hoping this was going to be something just like
Mind blowing.
completely brand new in the Halo world.
Well, they
It does.
they gave him the thingy that shoots out of his wrist now.
He's got a grappling hook.
That thing. rope dart or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So, mostly it seemed like people were really sort of disappointed by the visuals. They were
Yeah,
expecting something that was going to blow them away and be completely next gen. But you knew that wasn't really going to be the case because the game's also coming to the Xbox One.
and
So
it's the probably entire development process was for Xbox One. And
I'm
that's
sure it
probably why
probably
the
was.
Xbox Series X is forcing that backwards compatibility thing, so that way they can have that as a selling point for that going forward.
Mhm. And yeah, there's a very good chance that the Series X version of Halo will have some upgrade stuff, whether it comes out at launch or it's like a post-release patch to give the Series X version of the game like a bump in the visuals and all of that. We don't know. Um, we do also, they have said that this will be sort of the last mainstream Halo release for the foreseeable future. This looks to me like they're going the Destiny route with Halo and turning it into just the one game that they continue to update for years.
Okay.
So um, we shall see exactly what that involves. We don't know anything about the multiplayer yet. They didn't show off that. They just showed off an 8-minute trailer with a small chunk of the single player campaign. Um,
After that, they showed off a camping simulator with a girl yelling at a wolf and then getting yelled at by a deer, and I was like, "That's gonna be State of Decay." And it
yeah,
said State of Decay. I was like,
I was trying to figure out what this was because I've never played a State of Decay game, so I didn't
I
have that reference in mind. Uh,
I knew it from just the way that the design was, and then you get to see the deer at the end. I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's it."
Once the deer popped up, I figured it was going to be some sort of zombie style, you know, thing. Because half the deer was missing half his face, and then it screamed at the girl who was camping. So
It was eating a wolf that it killed.
yeah, I was thinking Resident Evil something. Maybe it was but no, it wasn't. It was State of Decay. So State of Decay 3.
After that, they showed off Forza Motorsports for X.
Which
Hmm?
I was just saying, this is
I don't know
Series
which.
X game.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is
I don't know the
probably
naming
not
process on this one.
this is probably not coming until 2022. This was what looked like the first game that they showed off that might be a Series X exclusive.
Yeah, they showed off several of them. It didn't say Xbox One; it just said Xbox Series X. And this one's using the ray tracing, so that was kind of a neat takeaway from that.
Yeah,
Uh,
this was very much a CG trailer, or they did say it was captured in engine, but it looked like just some of the when you're in between races and you're looking at like the garage and you see people walking around and looking at cars and helmets and light shining off of them with reflections. It was basically just a showcase of some of the ray tracing stuff that will be coming to the Series X.
we got to look at a new Rare game.
Not Banjo Kazooie.
Sadly, it was not. Everwild. I I was very confused by what I saw. I'll be honest, I have like zero interest in this game.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what this is. It looks like one of those sort of it looks like an adventure game that is using sort of not mythological things, but sort of I don't even know exactly how to describe it. Um, there was a giant lizard that puked a bunch of fish out of its mouth into the water at one
And there was
point.
like some dear god thing happening too.
Yeah,
It was weird. After that, they showed off Tell Me Why.
which is the next game from the Life is Strange developers.
Apparently, you can get Chapter 1 on August 27th through
I
Xbox
think
One and PC.
the entire thing is going to be released on that day.
It says
Um,
Chapter 1 releases on the 27th.
so
Not sure. So, that's kind of game you like, enjoy that. There was Ori and Will the Wisp in there just to show off the 4K 120
Yeah.
FPS for the
It's
Series
getting
X.
yeah, it's getting a big update for Series X. They
Uh,
were very excited to talk about the the 4K 120 frames a second to give you the ultimate experience for Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Outer Worlds is getting an expansion called Peril on Gorgon.
Hmm.
So if you like the Outer Worlds or that Fable stuff, or not Fable,
Not Fable.
spoiler, uh, 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 Fallout. There we go. Right there we go.
Yes.
Well, I'm not editing this out, so yeah. If you like Fallout and you like the Outer Worlds, then you might like this stuff. Obsidian reveals a new fantasy RPG called Avowed. Avowed.
This is one I will be keeping my eye on. This looked really good.
I don't remember what it was. It was around this time I got distracted at work, so I'm not actually I haven't actually seen this.
It is a, fantasy Lord of the Rings looking type
Oh,
RPG.
that was
So
that one. Okay. Then I got that confused with Dusk Falls, which is the game that showed after that.
this one I don't remember.
Uh,
Let me.
you know what? Let me just open this link and see if it tells me
Yep.
anything.
It's a
Oh,
trailer.
it went to YouTube.
Oh, this is the one. It's like there's two different families and their stories intermixed. This is a new game from a French developer, I think.
Yeah.
Where there's one family that they are obviously on the run. They've just robbed a bank and they go out to the middle of nowhere with this other family who has just moved in to sort of start their life. And their families are going to, their stories are going to mix. Probably one member of one family is going to kill another member of another family. And then years later, one of them sends the daughter from the
Yeah.
family who was just moving out there a letter, and she says, "I got your letter," and that's where the trailer ends.
We got to look at some new Psychonauts 2 footage.
Jack Black will be in the game. That's all they were. That's all they cared about
That
showing.
was really all they cared about. Was like they wanted to remind us that they know Jack Black.
There's a song. Jack Black is singing it, and he's doing a voice in the game. That's what they were showing off.
Destiny 2 is coming to Game Pass for
Which I was a little confused by this because I've played Game Pass. I mean, I've played Destiny on my phone
yeah, because
with
it's already a free
Microsoft,
to play game.
but it's in the beta for xCloud, is what it is.
It's coming to Game Pass with Beyond Light. So all the expansions, if you're a Game Pass member, you get all those expansions, including the new one.
Yep.
I don't know if you get access to the additional content that comes with those, like the expansion pass stuff. Like what's going on in Destiny right now is like we're doing like the Rasputin. No, we just finished Rasputin stuff. We're doing some drifter related stuff. So I don't know. We'll find out more on that later, I'm sure. Stalker 2 is a console launch exclusive for the Series X.
Mm-hmm. That is just
And I think that actually got pushed back or something right after that.
Did it?
There was some news about it, like something happened. I would have to go and search the internet to verify, but we have the internet at our fingertips, and might as well look it up. Wow, this game was announced back in 2010. Oh my gosh.
Really?
Release date for 2012. 2021. Oh, geez.
Has Stalker 2 never come out?
It's basically the Duke Nukem Forever right now.
I thought
Okay, so
it had been out.
okay, so this might come out. I don't know.
Who knows?
Uh,
Then they showed off a trailer for a game called The Medium, which this looked weird. Like I'm not entirely, my brain was not working with this one. It is they're calling it a dual reality game where things are happening in the real world and then like you're seeing things in like the spirit world or something. And
It's like you
what?
interact with the spirit world stuff. The same stuff happens in the real world.
Yeah, and
Think of it like having a Dementium and you're going crazy, but the same stuff's happening in the real world because of that. So crazy things, fun, right? Got it.
yep,
Uh, the Gunk.
that is a new one from the Steam World developers.
Okay. You got a girl with like some big. I didn't see this one.
You're
Oh,
clean. It's like imagine a
Super Mario Sunshine
post-apocalyptical, yeah, Super Mario
Apocalypse.
Sunshine.
There we go. Got it. Okay, followed by Warhammer 40K Dark Tide.
Very excited about it.
So like 4 person.
This is first-person shooter co-op game set in the 40K universe. I'm all for
I'm gonna say probably similar to Left 4 Dead.
Vermintide.
Vermintide,
Oh,
Left 4 Dead, sort of in that area.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Tetris Effect Connected.
That's multiplayer Tetris Effect.
There we go. Fantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. I guess that's a expansion.
I don't know if it's an expansion. I saw someone say it was like a sort of reboot of PSO2.
Well, that'd be weird because PSO2 just came out on Xbox, so
Yeah, but it's been out in Japan for a very long time.
on everything but Xbox
Yeah.
in Japan. We got to see some footage for Crossfire X or Cross.
Yeah, it's Crossfire X. This is like Call of Duty.
Okay, see, I wasn't sure if this was like full on English game or full on Japanese game.
Oh, it is Call of Duty.
Okay.
So I mean, it is not Call of Duty, but it's basically Call of Duty. That type of
It's
game.
not Counter Strike, but it's Counter Strike.
Yeah, it's not Call of Duty, but it is Call of Duty. So, yeah.
They showed off Forza
No,
Horizon 4 and Sea of Thieves will be enhanced by the Xbox Series X,
yeah,
as
I'm
one would
interested
expect them to be.
I'm interested in seeing what Sea of Thieves will look like.
That water
on
looks so good
Series X.
already. What's gonna look like on the X?
I know it's gonna be crazy.
It's like water just gonna pour out of your screen, and you'll be like, "Oh no!" But you can turn the TV off; it all dries up.
Oh man.
And then
We got the one more thing.
which I may have spoiled earlier.
It was the fairy getting eaten by a frog.
Yeah, so you just have a happy little fairy flying around, and then a frog eats her in a very horrific manner. The frog didn't care. He was like, "I'm just eating."
It's just a fairy. I'm gonna eat it.
And then just the word fable.
Yeah. So this seems like it is a straight reboot of the Fable series.
Which I'm fine with that, because I guess this would be closer to. This could be a complete overhaul and better source material towards what Peter Molyneux, like his original vision of the game had a thing where like you weren't just stuck on roads, you could walk around in trees and stuff. You could like plant a seed, come back later, and it'll grow into a tree. That I'm wondering if we have the technology. Well, we've had the technology for a while, but it seems like his vision for this game that came out on the original Xbox can now actually be visionized.
Yeah. Which is really kind of sad because he's not involved in this game in any way. This is not being developed by his studio. This is being developed by Playground Games.
You know what? I'm fine with that because that means the game will come out.
Well, there is that.
It'll come out and it'll be the product people were told it was going to be.
So yeah, they didn't show anything off. They literally just showed the teaser trailer, which was a fairy getting eaten by a frog. That's all we know about the game, is that you may at some point while you're walking down the road see a frog eat a fairy, and
you can laugh at it.
Exactly.
Did you notice how like huge her hands were? Like they're bigger than her head.
I didn't really know. Nothing stood out as odd or anything like that.
It's like someone had a screenshot post. I was like, oh my gosh, her hands are huge. But then again, mythological being, so who cares?
So, and that was the way the Xbox Games Showcase ended. One thing they did put a big focus on during this whole show was that if it's on this show, you will be able to play it on Game Pass. They talked about that every chance they could. That logo was everywhere during this thing.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, they are going very hard towards Game Pass, and they want to get people subscribed to Game Pass. And for good reason. I mean, Game Pass continues to be the best value in all of gaming, and they continue to just make it better. So, and I think they recently passed 10 million subscribers on Game Pass. So it's been very successful for Microsoft. They want to see more people in there. There's supposed to be in the next month or so a big presentation on the future of Game Pass and what they're going to be doing with that. So we can expect to see that in the next few weeks. But that was it. That was the biggest news of the week this week was a bunch of game announcements. So it was sort of like a mini E3 this week with all of these announcements. And do you have anything else you want to add to that?
No, it was a lot of stuff to take in this week, and I was actually watching some of it at work because I actually had a little bit of free time, so I was happy with that.
A lot of good announcements this week. So it was pretty exciting when all was said and done. I mean, of course, reactions were mixed to some of the stuff. A lot of people were disappointed with Halo. I'm fine. I think it looked good. We're still a little ways out from the release of that, so they've got some time to improve a few things. Like I said, I saw some video of Halo after the presentation, and when you saw it in the 4K 60 outside of the stream, it looked a little better than it did during the actual game showcase stream. So I'm not too worried right now.
Yeah, I'm sure everything will look better when I'm actually getting the footage rather than when I was watching it on my phone at work.
Yeah. So but I guess then that will be the show for this week. So thank you, Ethan, for being here.
See y'all next week.
If you want to reach out to us, we have new ways to do so. You can email us at procedurallygeneratedent@gmail.com. If you like what we do, you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/PGENT. Patreon supporters get the video version of the podcast a day early. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/ProGenInt. Check out our YouTube channel, and we still have that famous Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.